All right, everybody ready for your next comic? We're going to switch it up. Bring out my next friend, Jim Barber. How's everybody doing tonight? Wasn't Marionette great, huh? Well, it's March here in Southwest Florida. It's the peak of snowbird and tourist season. Kind of an ugly time of year, really. Traffic's at a gridlock. Takes hours to get a seat in a restaurant. Can't find a parking space anywhere. I was down in Naples last week looking for a parking space. And I'll tell you what, that city, those people in Naples are old. They're so old down there that now they just have non-handicapped marked parking. They don't even mark the handicap spaces anymore. You have to look for a non-handicapped space. And you ever see these people? They pull into the handicap space. They're driving one of these giant Lincoln Navigators. It's like 8 feet longer than a normal Navigator. Sits about this high off the road. They whip into the first handicap spot, jump out, take off running for the business. I saw this happen the other day, and I yelled to the guy. I said, "Hey," I said, "what's your handicap?" He said, "Well, right now it's a 6, but if I work on my putting, I can get it down to a 3. And then out on the roads, everybody's always looking for an edge around here. They just want to be one car space in front of you. If they're in line, they just want to be the first person in front of you. Everybody's always trying to get this little edge. Even on the roadways, there's always some guy from Michigan. Oh, we're back. There's always some guy from Michigan who will pull out on 41 and bring his wife, 3 kids, and mother-in-law within a half a second of dying a horrible, bloody, bone-crushing, organ-smashing death just to get in front of you. It never fails. And you got to slam on your brakes, and everything in the car that's not welded to the body is flying through the air. And then his whole family's got their faces pressed up against the window with that just sheer horror look on their face that you only see in the movie Faces of Death. But they're on vacation. They're in Florida. They're on vacation. They're on their way to have seafood. Dad's telling the rest of them, keep your eyes out for that Red Lobster place. It ought to be around here somewhere. I'll tell you what irritates me more than anything with the winter crowd, when it gets really crowded down here. When I go to the supermarket, I like to use the express lane, 10 items or less. And I count everybody else's items in front of me, behind me. I let them know I'm counting too, I'm doing this number, And the other day I'm in the express lane and this little old lady's in front of me and she sees me counting and she's got like 16 items. And she backed up and she said, "Look, if you want to go ahead." And I said, No. We've already delayed things enough as it is now. I said, I would have liked to have gotten the microwavable pre-cooked bacon to go with my bagel, but I didn't do it because I wanted to be eligible to use the express lane, 10 items or less. This self-policing we're doing in the express lane at the supermarket's not working, the honor system. Something's got to be done about it. And then it never fails. They get up to pay. And the cashier says, "Are you a member of our savings club? Do you have your card? You can save 20 cents on that can of tuna." And they're always like, Yeah, I'm a member. Well, go ahead and put your telephone number in there, And then this. And the cashier's like, "No, that's not it." And they're like, "Oh, damn, I don't know. I don't know if we use my husband's number or we use the number for the house back in Illinois. I just don't. Let me try another." I was pissed off the other day. I just put a quarter down and said, "Look, take your stuff and take it outside. You've been in the express lane long enough." Kind of wish I'd used the regular lane. But, things have not all been really, really terrible for me for the last week with the crowds and everything, because I had my first Brazilian last week. Does anybody else have a Brazilian? Huh? Have you? Yeah, I met her in a bar in Fort Myers. She was here visiting her family, and it was a pretty good experience for me. Uh, what's going on in the news? Robert Kraft, Bob Kraft. We got any New England Patriots fans in here? If you do, you have to leave now. Bob Kraft, the president, the owner of the New England Patriots, was arrested in Palm Beach County, Florida for 2 counts of soliciting a prostitute. And you know, the thing that got me about this whole incident is it just totally destroyed my image of what it would be a single multi-billionaire owner of probably the most valuable professional sports team that exists. I'm kind of picturing the penthouse on South Beach, maybe a dozen Miss Venezuela contestants running around butt naked on the rooftop pool. Oh, no. Mr. Kraft is on the seedier side of town, right off the main street, next to the vape shop, getting this, you know. And the police have surveillance videotape. They had this all on videotape. And they said from the time that the masseuse started until she finished was 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Can you believe that? God, that's pitiful. Because I can last twice as long as that. Anyway, I felt sorry for the masseuse more than I did Mr. Kraft. I mean, what kind of cruel carpal tunnel on-the-job injury do these women who work in these Asian massage parlors have to deal with all the time? You know, their hand must be just like permanently like this, you know. Come on in, we're open. Just go down the hallway right there and take a first door to the left. I'll be there in just a second. I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for Mr. Kraft's family. I saw the very attractive granddaughter of his standing alongside him when they presented the Super Bowl trophy. And his family must be really torn up about this. I don't know. 2 counts, prostitution. Prostitution and Florida just go together. It's just 2 words that go together. Florida, prostitution. You never hear anybody talking about a Wyoming prostitution story or a Vermont prostitution story. It's always a Florida prostitution story, and there's lots of them. One of my favorites took place about a month ago up in Jacksonville when this woman actually got shot by the John. She had offered to perform a sex act for $5 and a bag of potato chips. What kind of sex act do you get for $5 and a bag of chips? I mean, I would have paid $10 and given her 2 bags just to watch, you know. And then she got shot. She must have not even been good at it. What's so unusual about this is last year up in Bradenton, a woman was arrested by an undercover police officer after she agreed to perform a sex act for $25 and some chicken McNuggets. What in the hell? When did fast food and snacks become currency for sex workers, you know? But I think McDonald's is missing an unbelievable opportunity here as far as marketing McNuggets. I would hire her in a heartbeat if I was in McDonald's marketing department. I'd put her on television, and she just look straight in the camera and say, you know what? I was gonna give a total stranger a blowjob for some chicken McNuggets. But you don't have to do that, because you can go to any McDonald's and purchase them for $4.29, 10 pieces. Can you imagine if we all negotiated with our employers like this and had to use food? I mean, you're at the job interview, the guy says, look, the job pays $40,000 a year, I contribute to your 401k, I'll pay 80% of your insurance. And you're like, you know what, if you'll throw in a nice guy's pizza once a week, I think we've got a deal. Is there overtime? Is there overtime in the job? Because if there's overtime, I want a bucket of KFC. Yeah, prostitution in Florida. Let's go together. Who else is in the news? Jussie Smollett? Jussie? You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even have a joke for this because I don't even know who the fuck he is. Does anybody know who this guy is? Kyle over here has more viewers on YouTube for his weekly podcast than I think Jussie had. I think we're starting to use the term celebrity a little bit too easily anymore. Up in Northport 2 weeks ago, husband and wife got arrested for practicing dentistry in their home. Yeah. You know, the living room was the waiting room, and they were performing the procedures in the garage. Actually, this was my dentist. I'll no longer be able to get a cleaning and watch his brother-in-law change my oil at the same time. One of the customers, one of their patients, I guess, said they were a little bit tipped off. Something might not be right when he used a shop vac to suction out some pieces while he was doing dental work on them. Practicing medicine in Florida, that happens quite a bit without a license. There's a guy over in West Palm Beach. He's going on trial here in a couple of months. He's 18 years old. This was on the news. You probably saw this. He had a clinic. He wore a white lab coat. He went on rounds at area hospitals, went in rooms, examined patients, 18 years old. He had everybody baffled. No one could believe it when he finally got arrested. They asked all the doctors over in West Palm, didn't you guys realize he wasn't a doctor? And they said, well, we saw him playing golf 3 times every week, and we just figured he had to be one. University of Michigan come out with a study 2 weeks ago. Older men who have sex at least once a week have a 50% higher chance of having a heart attack or stroke. It's very scary, you know. If you're an older man, you're having sex more than once a week, you have a 50% chance of having a stroke or a heart attack. But you gotta understand, any older man having sex once a week or more is probably worried to death his wife's gonna find out. It would scare the hell out of anybody. I had to go see my doctor here for a checkup not too long ago. He's one of these holistic guys, you know. He doesn't like to prescribe things too often if he thinks that you can just make some adjustments in your lifestyle and make things better. And I had my physical, and I couldn't believe it. My blood pressure was actually lower than normal. My cholesterol was like 0. My weight and body mass for someone my age was on the lower end, and he suggested that I go on a high-fat diet, give up exercise, and take up smoking until we can bring the numbers up a little bit. But I told him, I said, Doc, I said, at night, my legs, seem to be kicking in bed, uncontrollably. He says, that's restless leg syndrome. We have a drug for that called Mirapex. He said, but I have to tell you, it can cause unusual urges to have sex and unusual urges to gamble. I said, well, are there any side effects? But my doctor, he's expanding his practice. He's opening up an erectile dysfunction clinic up here on Del Prado, up near the Cape Coral Hospital. Going to be called the Morningwood Clinic. Any of you people out there with ED looking for a place to get treated, that's the place to go. In fact, he's opening up a week from Saturday. He's not really telling anybody. He said, ask me to get the word out for him. He's having a soft opening in 2 weeks on Saturday if you're interested. Just bring your medical records on a floppy. He's going to start the clinic off at 12 noon with a seminar on premature ejaculation. If you're interested, he asks that you be there 15 minutes early. Tell you a little bit about me. When I was in high school, my parents set me down one night and they said, Jim, find something you love doing. You'll never work a day in your life. The next morning, I quit high school and caught a bus to LA to become an actor in adult films. When I got out there, though, it wasn't as easy to get a job as I thought it was going to be. I just thought, I had the acting part down, but they really wanted you to be able to act. I didn't even know they you had to be able to read lines. You had to be able to act. I had to read these scripts in front of people. It'd be like, Can you feel my big bulging cock? You know, and the director, cut, you know, let's try it again. Put a little bit more emotion in it, you know, and it'd be, can you feel my big bulging cock? And he'd say, you're getting there, you know, but you're going to have to work on that. So I had to go take acting lessons. And then one day the phone rang, and it was one of these adult production facilities, and they offered me a gig, a job in a movie. I was thrilled to death. Be here Monday, 8 o'clock in the morning, early. We're going to start shooting. Told all my friends back home, I'm in. I'm going to be an adult star. Then I got there Monday morning and found out it was an all-male film. I didn't know that you don't get to start out with women, you know. You have to work your way up. And I got to thinking about it, you know. I thought, you know what, Jim? I said to myself, you know, every job's got some aspect about it that you don't like. I don't care what it is you do. There's always something in your job you don't like, and that's the way you need to look at this. You don't like this, but you're going to be faced with this for the rest of your life. So it's just a job. You got to do what you got to do if you want to climb the ladder. And also it helped me work on my acting skills, you know. I got pretty good at my lines. I would say, I can feel your big bulging cock inside of me, you know, and people believed it. Anyway, my name's Jim. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. We got 2 more people left that are really good, so stay with us.
Keep it going for Jim Barber.